Hey everyone, Wags here from Eagle Dynamics, and in this DCS FA-18C Hornet video, we're taking a look at the Automatic Carrier Landing System, or ACLS, for Case 3 recoveries. And this is going to give us indications to the Marshal Stack, to Mother, and even if you want, in Mode 1, we can do completely hands-free landing on the carrier. Now, if you haven't seen it earlier, I did a video on Case 3 recoveries. You may want to take a look at that just to better understand the mechanics of a Case 3. So let's go ahead and contact Mother and let her know that we are inbound. So, COM 1 on the radio, go to ATC, to George Washington in this case, and inbound.
Marshal 303, marking moms 164.60, Angels 7, state 7.8.
303, Courage Marshal, Case 3 recovery, CV1 approach, expect final bearing 344, altimeter is 2993, 303, Marshal Mothers 164, radio 21, DME Angels 6, expected approach time is 14.
303, Marshal on the 164, 21, DME Angels 6. Expected approach time is 14.
303, read back correct.
Alright, now before we set up the jet, let's run into the mission editor and I'll show you how to set up the carrier to support ACLS. Now, setting up a carrier for ACLS is super easy. All we're going to do is go into the naval icon, place our unit, select the unit, in this case the GW. Let's give it a group name, GW, and a unit name, same, GW. And down here at the bottom we have our advanced waypoint actions. We'll hit add. For the type, we'll go to perform command. And below that are our actions. Scroll down on the bottom, we'll go activate Link-4. Given the name, GW, name, GW. And here we have our frequency for the Link-4 data link. It defaults to 336, but you can put anything you want in there. And then at the very bottom we have the unit, which needs to tie into the unit we have here, which is the GW. Next, we'll hit add again, perform command. For the actions, we'll go to activate ACLS, type in the name, GW, name, GW, and again, we need to tie it to the unit, which again is the GW. And that's it. Okay, and we're back. Let's set up the jet. So first we go to TACAN, TCN on the UFC. We'll go to on. In this case, it's going to be channel 73 and enter. Then we'll go to the ICLS, ILS button, turn it on. In this case, channel 11. And next we have the data link. This is going to be the Link-4 to support ACLS. So go to DL, turn it on, and each carrier is going to have a different Link-4 frequency. To see those, hit the K button, and we'll see that the GW is 256. So overwrite 2560 and enter. Okay, so now we have the TACAN, the ICLS, and the Link-4 all set up and ready to go. Let's go to the left DDI, go to support page, HSI, and down here in the bottom left corner we have ACL, Automatic Carrier Landing. We'll press on that, and this is the Link-4 page. Right now it's going to start in a test, and it's going to test the frequency we entered to the Link-4 data link from the carrier. If it comes back with a UTM fail, it just means you have a bad frequency. Go ahead and put the right one in, then go back out to the HSI and come back in again, and should be able to rerun that test. Okay, ACL1, which indicates a good handshake. Let's go to the right DDI, go to support page again, HSI, and TACAN. And just like we do for Case 3, let's go ahead and set up our final bearing, which is going to be 344. So hold the course switch down. Now we have CSAL up on the UFC, 344 and enter. And now we have our course line. And as you may recall, for Mother we want to be at 6,000 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and bring off the autopilots, paddle out, ATC off. And I'm going to go down to 6,000 feet at 300 knots. Okay, I'm going to do a ATC cruise control for my airspeed. That way I'm not having to manually manage it all the time. Okay, 6,000 feet, give or take. Go to autopilot. I'm going to do a barometric altitude hold, just to make it a bit simpler. And now get myself on my final bearing of 344. And I'm going to overshoot just a bit here. Okay, so now we're established on our final bearing. Let's go ahead and send the established to mother.
303. Established Angels 6. State 7.4.
303. Roger, state 73.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pause every time we have a data flashing up on the HUD, and that indicates we have new information on the Link-4 data link page on the left DDI. So let's take a look at what we see. So we can see we have a T/C, and that indicates that we're in traffic control. And the double chevron kind of blanked out here at the bottom. That indicates the direction to intercept the Marshal Stack or where we want to be. Up here at the top, we have our command airspeed. It's going to be 300 knots. Then we have our command altitude, 6,000 feet. And then we have our command ROD, which stands for rate of descent. And given that it's commanding 6,000 feet and we're already exactly at that, we have a command rate, descent rate of 0. We're going to keep it right there. Let's go ahead and pause. And set up the jet. So master arm safe, hook down, bring up our checklist. Raw gear off, ECM off, dispensers off, hook bypass to carrier, anti-skid is off. Let's set a bingo fuel to 3,500. Set our rad out bug to 250. Set our HUD altitude to radar. Helmet is off. We're pretty much good to go. So we're about 28 out, and again, based on what we heard from Mother, we're going to be commencing at 21. Now, like I mentioned, with Mode 1, you'll have the option for a completely hands-free landing near the final stages. But during that final stage, you can also go to Mode 1A by hitting the paddle switch to disable the autopilot. And what will happen there is you'll manually fly the approach, but you'll still have all the indications on the HUD as well as on the Link-4 page. The other option is called Mode 2. And to do that, you'd actually disable the data link altogether. And if you do that, again, you'll be manually flying that approach. And the only indication you'll get at that point is going to be the tadpole up on the HUD. And we'll see that a little bit later and talk about it then. You also probably noticed that I'm not doing a complete Marshal Stack pattern here. I'm just going to do a direct in to save a bit of time. Okay, 2 miles out. And again, once we see new data up on the HUD, I'm going to pause it so we can talk about the changes that we're seeing on the data link page. Okay, I'm going to pause it here, bring up the radio, and let her know that we are commencing.
303. Commencing. State 7.0. Altimeter 29.93.
303. Radar contact 21 miles. Expect final bearing 344. 303. Switch approach.
Okay, so again, we've got the flashing data.
303.
Let's take a look. So again, we are in traffic control still, but now what we're seeing is these double chevrons are pointing a direct heading to the carrier, not the stack entry. Our command airspeed went from 300 down to 250. our command altitude went from 6,000 to 5,000, and our command rate of descent went to 4,000 feet per minute. And as I'm sure you know, up here above the altimeter box is going to be our rate of descent, which we're going to want to match to 4,000 feet per minute here in a bit. She also instructed me to contact approach. Let's check in with approach.
303, checking in, 21 miles.
303, approach, final bearing 344.
303.
Okay, so next I'm going to unpause it. I'm going to paddle out, disable the autopilots and the ATC, put myself to about 4,000 feet per minute descent, and zero the throttles. Probably also have to put the brake out to slow myself down to 250. So let's take a look. So unpause, paddle out, brake out, bring in my rate of descent down to about 4,000, a little too much. About there. And you can see I have a good head of steam, so a little difficult slowing down to 250.
Altitude.
So I'm below 5,000, so to the comm and platform.
303, platform.
303, roger.
Okay, new data. So now command airspeed is still 250. Command altitude went from 5,000 to 1,200, and our command rate of descent went from 4,000 feet per minute to 2,000 feet per minute. So actually what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up the nose and arrest this to about 2,000 feet per minute. So on pause, bringing up the nose. And around there. Again, it doesn't have to be 100% precise. That's close enough. Let's bring in my scales. I'm going to keep keeping a close eye on my radar altimeter now for 1200, and that's where I'm going to level out. Okay, bring in the brake. I'm going to go ATC to hold myself at 250. It's one less thing for me to have to keep an eye on until a little bit. Okay, align myself a little better with the carrier. Okay, 1700. $15. Okay, start bringing the nose up. Okay, 1200. Okay, ATC is off, and now I'm manually flying. Looking for 10 miles. At that point, I'm going to go ahead and drop the gear. So, flashing green, need to bring myself off to the left.
303, fly bullseye.
303.
Okay, solid green. Looking for an amber though. Okay, 10 miles. Gear down. Throttles to idle. Starting to trim myself back. Okay, half flaps. Okay, amber light on the carrier. Full flaps.
303, final radar contact, 8 miles.
303.
Next, I'm looking for 6 miles. Actually, let's pause. So now we see we have landing check, and that's just the carrier reminding me I want to be in landing configuration at this point. Gear down, flaps down, hook down. Command airspeed 140, command altitude 1200, and my rate of descent at 0. On pausing. I'm next looking for a range of 6 miles to the carrier. At that point, I will go into automatic throttle control in approach mode. A little low, bring myself up. Okay, 1200 feet. Okay, solid red, so I'm going to bring myself a little to the right of the carrier. Okay, amber. 6.2. Okay, ATC engage.
303. ACLS lock on. 6 miles. St. Needles.
303. Up and on.
303. Concur. Fly mode 2.
Okay, so we're going to pause again. He mentioned mode 2. I'm going to fly mode 1 in this case. You can see that we have ACL ready, mode 1. At this time, we could actually couple up and have hands-free landing in mode 1. Our command airspeed is 140, command altitude 1200 feet, and rate of descent is at 0. Now, if we want to do hands-free at this point in mode 1, we could go to the autopilot and then select coupled mode. So it's on pause, autopilot, coupled. And now, up on the HUD, we see coupled PR for pitch and roll, and I am 100% hands-free on the stick and throttle at this point. If I want to, I can go ahead and make a ham sandwich. Okay, confirming hook down, hook bypass, anti-skid is off. Up on the HUD, we now see the tadpole, and this indicates the ideal glide slope and approach angle we want to be flying for the approach based on the data link. And what's going to happen is once the glide slope intercepts our velocity vector, the aircraft will fly the velocity vector to match the tadpole for proper approach. And like I said before, if we want...
303. Approaching glide path.
Like I was saying before, if we wanted to
303.
paddle out and go to mode 1A, we could then manually fly it, but still have all the indications up on the HUD and also on the Link-4 page. We also had a flashing data. You can see we're in command now. And again, the airspeed and altitude are still all the same. So on pause. And also, like I said before, if we wanted to, we could disable the data link altogether at this point and fly it manually with only having that tadpole visible on the HUD. Okay, you can see the tadpole coming down because we're intercepting the glide slope. And now the aircraft is going to automatically fly the velocity vector to match the tadpole. A little low on fuel, that's why we're getting the HO fuel warning there. And like I mentioned with the laser lights, you want to have a nice amber light for proper lineup. If you have a solid red, you want to be a little bit right of the carrier. If it's flashing red, you want to be even more right to the carrier to line up. If it's solid green, you want to be to the left of the carrier. And it's flashing green, you want to be even further to the left of the carrier to get onto proper lineup. And that laser light is quite helpful. Okay, 1.6 out. I'm going to bring up the comm. Still going to have to do our Hornet ball.
5 knots down the angle. You're on glide slope. You're on center line.
It doesn't get much easier than this. Okay, full throttle. Good catch. Back on throttle. Flaps up. Hook up. Let's get out of the landing area. So folks, that's a look at ACLS. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.